Our latest NBC News poll is showing a big gender gap, with young men shifting their support to Donald Trump. NBC's Shaquille Brewster went tailgating in Background, Georgia, to find out why.
Before kickoff in Atlanta, almost everyone tailgating is a Falcons fan.
I'm with NBC News. We're trying to talk to young voters.
And among young men at this NFL stadium in a battleground state,
probably I'll vote, but probably for Trump. You willing to tell us who you're planning to vote for? Trump?
growing support for former President Trump.
Why Donald Trump?
I enjoyed his policies, and he did treat us pretty well.
For generations, the youth vote has favored Democrats.
You go first.
But this year,
does it feel like more young people are becoming more conservative or trending in that direction?
Definitely.
It's a gap that's shrinking, with young men driving that shift. Vice President Kamala Harris's lead among men 18 to 29 now within the margin of error.
Why Vice President Harris?
Because I'm not voting for anybody else.
But President Biden won young men by 11 points in 2020 exit polls. For many of them, it's all about one issue.
Well, the obvious issue is going to be the economy.
Issues you care most about?
Economy.
Economy is the top issue for you? Why?
I mean, I'm working and I live alone, so that's a big part for me.
You see more excitement among young men for your message?
Yes.
Dante Thompson is the executive director of the Georgia Young Republicans. He and his volunteers are hitting the economy message hard.
Men want to be in control of their own destiny, and those are talking points that we use when we talk to them.
Former President Trump chasing the demographic, making multiple appearances at UFC fights, and doing a round of podcasts with hosts popular among Gen Z men.
Thank you, President.
And while Republicans say they see a lot of long-term opportunity in young voters, Democrats say they're working to make up lost ground.
Very aware of it. The Democratic Party is making efforts to correct it.
Devontae Jennings leads the Young Democrats of Georgia.
You got to be in the trenches talking to people, letting them know what the issues are, where you stand with the issues, and how you're actually going to care for them.
Kamala Harris recently appearing in a popular NBA podcast.
It is so good to be with you. Thank you for sitting down with us.
Both campaigns drawing up their final plays to win this group that could decide the presidency.
And that whole, I call it Up in Smoke, but the All the Smoke podcast, they were destroyed for that. It has like a 90% dislike ratio, which I can see that on my end, 90% dislike ratio and thousands of comments, and every single one is killing her. Just like every podcast she goes on, even the Call Her Daddy podcast, which is for young white women, getting destroyed in ratio to hell. So it's not just men, but Kamala Harris has been on the trail, and take a look at what she had to say about all of this.
We spoke to Vice President Harris moments after her Grand Rapids rally here in Battleground, Michigan, where she sharpened her criticism of former President Trump.
He who has called for the, quote, termination of the Constitution of the United States of America.
At the convention, you cast yourself as a joyful warrior, but in recent rallies, you've increasingly attacked former President Trump as an unstable and unhinged. Is that an effective closing? Is that an effective closing argument?
I think that one is not to the exclusion of the other. I have a great deal of optimism, as do the people who are here, about the future of our country. That is not in conflict with also being clear-eyed about the danger that Donald Trump poses based on the language that he has used and his admiration for dictators, his inability to really focus on the needs of the American people, in particular working people. These things are not in conflict. They all exist at the same time.
The critics who say the joy is gone, you respond.
Oh, I'm having a great time.
And we pressed her about the widening gender gap. The latest NBC News poll shows Harris leads Trump among women by 14 points. But Trump has a 16-point advantage with men. Just today, the Harris campaign expanding its advertising on websites that draw largely male audiences, like the sports betting site DraftKings. the vice president downplaying the divide.
Why do you think there is a disconnect for you with men right now?
Well, let me tell you, you can look at this audience and you can see that there are people of every background and gender who are showing up by the thousands. And I think it is because they know I intend to be a president for all Americans. And that is how I'm campaigning to earn the vote of every American, not only about their gender, but about their geographic location, and unburdened by who they may have voted for in the past.
Just to be clear, though,
I can't believe she actually used the unburdened by who. She's actually still using unburdened. And you see the word salad, and then the guy is just trying to, this is friendly, this is NBC, so he's trying to get, get her to answer the question, but she goes off into a tangent, and he tries to, like they said, Brett Baier was interrupting her. You can't get a word in if you don't. She just keeps going on and on and on and on and never answers the questions. It's just a bunch of deflection.
Men still say by 16% margin they're supporting Donald Trump right now. Why do you think that is?
It's not the experience that I'm having, to be honest with you.
Harris has been reluctant to distance herself from President Biden, today casting it as a matter of loyalty.
President Biden said this week that every president has to cut their own path. What is one policy that you would have done differently over these last 3.5 years than President Biden?
I mean, to be very candid with you, even including Mike Pence, vice presidents are not critical of their presidents. I think that really actually, in terms of the tradition of it and also just going forward, it does not make for a productive and important relationship.
He's now given you that green light with his comments that you can carve your own path. So now that you have this ability to say that, to be on your own?
Well, no, going forward, there is no question that I bring my own experiences and my own life experiences.
Is there a policy that stands out to you in particular, either?
Sure. I mean, my approach to what we need to do around Medicare covering home health care, born out of my experience of taking care of my mother. My priority on housing, one, because I know what it means, affordable housing and the ability to buy a home, but also I know that for so many young people who I speak with around our country, the American dream is just really out of reach. So my policy about $25,000 down payment assistance to help them get their foot in the door, the work that I have been doing and will bring to the presidency around emphasizing small businesses as being part of the real backbone of America's economy.
So as you can see, she really has no policy. And she either denies it, gives word salad to try to deflect, and it's just not true. When we know it's true. This is the weird thing. It's like just denying reality, what we see, what the polls are, what everybody's saying, that none of it's true. Look at all the genders and races here. Even though she came up with this fake black male agenda, which she finally admitted was a scam for votes, and it's not just for black men, it's for everyone, which is fine. But then you repackage it, try to rebrand and say, here, black men, let me just give you this. Oh, and by the way, I want to make sure you're the mascots for weed in the country. Like, this is just, I'm trying, guys. I'm independent, and I am trying really, really, really hard. This is atrocious. I just don't know what is going on. I just show that she is now in a previous video that she is on my Melanie King, my main channel. If you don't know, this is my Melanie off script. She is losing in every battleground state now, including Pennsylvania, which she needs Pennsylvania. And that the Democrat senator there, okay, refuses to campaign with her, refused to show up on the campaign with her, and now just put out an ad endorsing Trump and going against Biden. They don't even mention her. I guess she's a non-factor. So the Democrat senator who is running for re-election refuses to campaign. I want to be clear, refuses to campaign with her, and has this just spent millions of dollars on ads that I guess the Democrat Party approved. It's very bizarre, but approved this ad playing in Pennsylvania, where he is saying that he's independent, even though he's been a Democrat for decades, him and his father in Pennsylvania, Democrat. He's now saying he's independent, and that he bucked against Biden, which it literally says he bucked against Biden on a bill, and that he's agreed and endorses Trump and worked with him. That is how bad it is. But for her, it's delusion and I don't know, word salad is going to get her through to the end. Guys, I can't no more. It's just too much. Make sure you subscribe to this channel. This is Melanie off script, like I said, not my main channel, Melanie King. I really, really appreciate you guys support me over here. You've been incredible, and I am so grateful for you. But I gotta go because I'm so tired. I've been doing videos about her all day, and my head hurts now. So you guys, I will see you on the next one. Bye.